Roof inspection August 26th on Lexington. I'm on the back upper level of the building. It's a rolled cap sheet built up roof system. The cap sheet itself looks in pretty good shape. There appears to be between 3 and 4 layers on this, which was typical of these types of roofs built at this time. But the cap sheet still looks like it's in decent shape, and the granules are all still intact. This particular roof has pretty good water flow, all flowing to this scupper box drain for the most part. It does look like it might sit here a little bit. It does flow down this way. The scupper box is a little small for the amount of water coming from this main roof, but it probably is sufficient. There are various pipe jack flashings. There's some cracks around some of them. Those can cause some leaks, but that's pretty normal on a roof like this. Some of them are in better shape. The tile coping that goes around the entire perimeter is missing on the high side of the roof. If this was on the lower side of the roof, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. The problem is on the high side of the roof that water can get right underneath here and obviously then flow downwards towards the lowest point and cause problems. This would at the very least need to have tiles put back on here. Now all the other tile coping on this look okay. The tile here that's in the front is an older S style. They do not make this anymore. This was used quite a bit back in the 30s, 40s. I'm not sure when this was built. They don't make it anymore, but it's still, we see this on many roofs. It looks like they put some cap sheet here on the back just to divert the water around. There are various areas where it's cracked a little bit and chipped. It's fairly normal. What you don't want is to have it exposed down to the felt or to the hot mopping. It looks like in the valley area they at one point had put some hot tar over it with some cap sheet, but that's gone now. So the tile itself looks pretty good, but the tile itself is not waterproof. It's like a clay pot that absorbs water. So what you end up relying on is the underlayment underneath it. What I don't know is this the original roof? The concrete mortar looks, still in decent shape, but looks very old. So a lot of times what happens, and they've done it here, must have been some various repairs that they did. You can see the new mortar versus the older mortar. The lower roof again has tile coping around the entire perimeter. That looks like that's been taken off here and there and repaired. There's a little bit of buckling in this lower roof here. That happens because water gets trapped, moisture underneath, and then when the roof is put on, the water tries to evaporate, or the moisture tries to evaporate, and then you get a little bit of blistering and buckling in the roof. Again, that's not the end of the world. One concern here is, if you can see in this corner, is where the discoloration is that it doesn't appear that there's anywhere for that water to go in the corner. It doesn't appear that there's a drain and water can sit. The roof was designed to flow everything to the corner scupper box, which is over in the southeast corner, and it looks like they've done a patch repair over in that area, which is very normal again around a drain where you can have water sitting. So one concern, and the main concern on this roof, is that water appears to be sitting in these two corners right here in the north sections here. Some of the area here, again, you see this on a lot of old buildings, is is the lath and plaster. I'm not sure what they've got going on here, but some of it's exposed down to the paper, which probably wouldn't leak because you have the tile right there. But again, this is somewhat typical in these older roofs. This particular roof appears to be all draining to the drain in the corner. The scupper, it's a left scupper box drain. It looks like they've had some problems here, and that's why they've put this. At one point, it was like an aluminum coating, which you just brush it on, because I'm sure water has been sitting. Ideally, what ends up happening is these were originally pitched to go to the drains. Inevitably, water ends up sitting somewhere. In both cases, this roof and this roof, if they're ever re-roofed, we would have to put a level on it and see where the low spots are, and to possibly put at least 2 drains per building for the amount of water flow. There's a little hole here in the parapet wall in the middle. I'm not sure what that is, but that should just be filled in. One of the 3-inch drains here is real low to the ground. It's been like that, I'm sure, for years, so if it hasn't been a problem, it probably won't be a problem. It's the one that's flush to the roof. But this particular building water does not sit in the corner. You don't see any discoloration like you do on the other building. This particular roof is probably the best of all of them. It flows to, again, the left scupper box. There have been various typical repairs where the tile has been removed and put back on and either used with mastic or new mortar, and that's, again, very, very normal. On the front of the S tile, the very, very front of the building, there's some mastic repairs on the tile. For the cracks, again, that's very normal. The gutter system on the back building is it's an inboard gutter system, which is designed and built into the building, into the stucco. So these generally should be cleaned out at some point, and these particular ones are showing some sign of rust, which is very normal. And one should have a gutter contractor take a look at it and see if they can be cleaned or refurbished, and if they're not any problem. So again, the big issue is this particular roof over here. As you can see, again, in that corner where the dirt is, just look at the dirt where the discoloration is. That means water's sitting there. That, at the very least, should have another layer of modified bitumen put on that and try to build that up a little bit to pitch that back, but it sits very, very low. One could try to put a drain into the wall, but the parapet wall is very, very low. So this particular building is a little bit of a concern with, again, the low spots, and then this back area where the tile is missing at the high points. Again, this roof appears to be okay with quite a few layers on it, but the cap sheet looks like in good shape. We can't tell what's going on underneath it. So that concludes the video report.